St. John the Philosopher here. I can't confirm this, but I get the feeling that most cultures have their fair share of popular sayings. Not the type of enduring bits of old wisdom that are actually meaningful and, well, wise. I'm talking about the type of sayings you see passed around on social media, written in a swoopy font against the backdrop of a sunlit meadow or something. On the surface, they sound great, and uplifting and affirming and all that great stuff. But once you get past the catchy bumper sticker level logic, you realize how untrue they really are. Here are the top 3 lies we tell each other in current year. Number 3. You're perfect just the way you are. I think this one came about as a pat response to someone experiencing social pressure of one kind or another to become something they're not, and from there, passed into common usage.
You don't have to show off for Jamie. Just be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. Now come on, Mikey and I are making snow angels.
I don't want to be myself. My snow globe collection.
But outside the specific context of its origin, this is a terrible lie. People are perfect in the sense that their individuality is God-given and need not be tampered with. You can even argue that the fundamental aspects of who you are as a person are as the Creator intended and thus perfect. But you and me, in our entirety, could never be accurately described as perfect. Given the way people behave these days, I have the suspicion that they believe that they're perfect. But the reality, of course, is that everyone has room for improvement. In fact, it's often our misuse of those fundamental personal attributes I mentioned that makes us such crap human beings.
You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you.
Your flightiness is unsettled versatility. Your stubbornness, misapplied determination. Your tendency to conform to the crowd is undirected empathy. You are indeed not perfect just the way you are, but you can always be better. The point, of course, is that while you can make a mediocre version of someone else, only you can be a better you. Here's a better saying. You're the best at being yourself. Edging its way to the number 2 spot on our list of lies we tell each other is this gem. You can be anything you want to be. As a believer in American exceptionalism, the intended meaning of this statement, that every individual has a multitude of opportunities for their lives, warms my patriotic little heart. But as with number 3 on this list, the saying lacks the nuance of the context in which it's meant, so it comes to mean something entirely different and entirely untrue. Anyone who's seen amazing feats by professional athletes, borne witness to the precision of a surgeon at work, or watched the audition episodes of American Idol, understands that there are light years of distance between aspiration and accomplishment.
You catch him on the rebound. Will you marry for?
Okay. Randy.
God, dude, I don't even know what to say.
Thank you.
Didn't mean it that way, but...
Okay. It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage? Like, what is that? This is the most ridiculous thing ever. My face should be right here, and you have the audacity that I'm getting outside by security because I'm such a threat. You're not even American, and you're in my country, and you're gonna tell me what an American Idol is?
Bye.
I have never, this was,
Anybody can want to be anything, sure, but there are vocations that require these little things called talent and hard work. So stop telling your D student teenager that hates math that he can be a rocket scientist. It ain't gonna happen. And please stop filling your uncoordinated kid's head with dreams of the Olympics. Try this saying instead. Everyone has a calling. The number 1 lie that we tell each other in current year is, you have to make your own mistakes. Topping the list is this cheesy catch-all spoken by every 19-year-old in the midst of their rebellious phase.
Groot.
and Groot.
Whoa!
Hey.
You got some acorns on you, kid.
The best interpretation is that a person needs to forge their own path, even with the inevitable stumbles that come with life. I think most people can get behind that notion, at least on some level, but that's not really what the words say or what anyone means when they say it. In practice, you can expect to hear this saying used most often in an effort to excuse bad behavior. Among the stupid lies we tell each other, this one takes the cake because it's an altogether false idea built on a dumb premise. The first problem is that it doesn't differentiate between a choice made in good faith that happens to turn out badly and a willful act of stupidity. In so doing, it leaves no room for wisdom. There's a big difference between, let's say, choosing a college major you really thought you'd like but come to find out you hate versus choosing to shoplift because you wanted to know what it felt like.
You come in here every day asking the same questions. We ain't got no Pokemon, no Digimon, no Buffy, no SpongeBob, no Beanie Babies, and no shoplifters.
You can't call something you did in spite of good advice and your own better judgment a mistake. You were being dumb, not forging your own path. In reality, all it does is ensure that anyone that takes this misguided bit of advice is going to use it to justify making what they know is an objectively bad decision, and then chalk up the inevitably costly results to being just one of those mistakes that had to be made. Which leads me to the second problem with this saying. No, you don't have to make your own mistakes because there are all kinds of people that came before you who actually did. The definition of wisdom is the application of knowledge to effect the best results in the best way for the most people. The entire point of learning and mentorship and the like is to become familiar with the experience of those that came before you so that you can implement their best practices and avoid their mistakes. As one of the youngest kids in a large family, I can tell you there were many lessons I learned not from my own mistakes, but from those I was told about or witnessed from my older siblings.
Weren't you, Vanessa? Isn't that where you were? Didn't you go down there to Baltimore and have big fun, Vanessa? Tell me, didn't you go for big fun?
Mom.
Shut up! Don't you dare open your mouth when I'm asking you a question. Rudy, go to bed.
I've applied the same idea as best I could throughout my life, and while I've had my fair share of screw-ups, I'm certain I've saved myself a great deal of struggle and heartache by leaning on the experiences of my predecessors. So telling someone that they have to make their own mistakes is itself a mistake. Here's the better saying. You can learn from your own mistakes, but it's best to learn from those of others. Tell me what you think of this video. What do you think about my take on these sayings? What are your least favorite common sayings? Discuss in the comments. In the meantime, be sure to like, subscribe, and share for more videos on religion, culture, and politics. That's all for today. This is St. John the Philosopher. Goodbye, God bless, and I'll see you in another video.